It's the year 1708, and the San Jose, a Spanish galleon loaded with unimaginable riches, sinks off the coast of Colombia. It was within sight of the port of Cartagena, Sanctuary, when an English warship commanded by Commodore Charles Wager blew it sky high. Onlookers said the disaster looked like an exploding volcano. They say it went down to the deep loaded with $17 billion of gold, silver, and emeralds. For 307 years, the San Jose, the holy grail of treasure ships, lay lost to time. In 2015, the world was stunned when a group of explorers called Maritime Archaeology Consultants, headed by Roger Dooley, finally found a sunken time machine 12 miles offshore and 600 meters under the Caribbean Sea. Over the next 9 years, politicians, archaeologists, treasure hunters and activists all battled for the Galleon's future. Some said it was an underwater naval grave and should be left to rest in peace. Others wanted to lift the treasures for study and to sell. And then there were those who wanted the Galleon to be explored where it lies. Look, take photos, but don't touch. Finally, Colombia's president, Gustavo Petro, announced in February 2024 that the treasures of the San Jose are to be recovered, starting now. But what really went down on this ship of dreams? Is it all hype, too good to be true? And what does a wreck blown up in battle and left to rot and ruin for centuries look like? For the first time in history, WreckWatch invites you to tour the underwater secrets of the San Jose. Let's dive. "600 meters down, no light reaches the seabed. The wreck is as deep as 136 London red buses stacked on top of each other are high. You need a robot's lights to clear the gloom. And then, the spectacular wonders everywhere you look. We land next to an intact chunk of the stern. It's 25 meters long. Look, the whole width of the ship is still there, cocooned in its wooden side planking. This is the magic of the deep. In shallow waters, a delicate wreck like this will have been pounded by currents and waves, bulldozed by fishing trawls, and picked over by divers until little is left. Here, in 600 meters in the Caribbean Sea, the San Jose is pristine. The naked eye at once spots 22 bronze cannon that failed to save the San Jose from English fury in 1708. Some of the guns were made in the Royal Artillery Factory in Seville by order of King Charles II of Spain, who reigned until the year 1700. So they were at least 20 years old when the San Jose went down. Other cannon are 18-pounders, so cool because they hold a cannonball weighing 18 pounds, or just over 8 kilograms. From 360 meters away, it could smash through 75 centimeters of ship's oak planking and 30 centimeters at 1,000 paces, or 910 meters. Guns needed teams of at least 6 men to fire, including the gunner, loader, sponger, and powder monkey. Now that's a name to live up to. 3 of the wooden carriages on which the guns fired are still there among the wreckage. All armies and navies marched and sailed on their stomachs. Galleons at the age of sail didn't have fridges. All kinds of foods from olives to wine, hazelnuts and lentils were stored in these globular clay all-purpose storage jars called botellas in Spanish. Next to them in the stern, from where the cooking cabin fell down into that open crater, is a grinding stone. The cook used it to crunch up herbs and spices to cheer up the officers' food. Spanish sailors didn't eat as well as at home, but still didn't do badly on the waves. Daily rations were made up of 1.5 pounds of biscuit, 6 ounces of pork for 4 days of the week, and on the remaining days, 6 ounces of cod, plus 2 ounces of mixed rice and chickpeas. On Mondays and Wednesdays, they got extra cheese, huzzah! All in, the 4,130 calories on meat days and 3,743 calories on fish days was a well-balanced diet for the times. Both are even well above the 2,500 calories recommended for men today. The grub was eaten and washed down with weekly rations of 7 litres of wine per man, 1/4 of a litre of olive oil, and 1/6 of a litre of vinegar. All these foodstuffs were kept dry and cooled in these clay storage jars. Still in the stern, packaged in wooden crates and closed with pewter lids, you can spot at least 26 square glass bottles that probably once held the officers' gin and other spirits. There's even more nearer the mainmast and blast zone. Bottles with round bellies were filled with quality wine too. But if you were parched from the Caribbean sun and wanted fresh water, you dip your cup into these large Alibaba jars. Look carefully, you can see two flattened copper cauldrons, massive at 80 centimeters wide. These were used for most of the cooking. Managing the San Jose's food was the job of quartermaster Cristobal Simon de Vilches and the chief cooper and master of rations Juan Josef Moreno. And the ruins of the kitchen galley itself, where the soups and stews boiled away, have been ground down to a pile of bricks from the oven half. The spits of iron on which meat was grilled above the fire have melted into a mass of concretion. Let's tour the rest of the wreck. Keep an eye out for curiosities. The ceramic basins used for washing and keeping clean, two silver sword handles, and a hair comb made of gold would have pinned up a lady's fancy hairdo at journey's end. Even far from home on the high seas, the king's subjects put their faith in God. Tools of the Catholic religion defeated by the waves include a priest's chalice, a plate for the Eucharist, a ceramic benditera once attached to a wall and holding holy water, and even a church font made of marble. Spanish galleons sailed on the banner of God like no other nation. The San Jose sank during the War of the Spanish Succession, when Britain and Holland were fighting to stop Spain and France strangling the sea trade in the Americas. No more were exotic cargoes of everything from cacao and tobacco to sugar, cotton and hides being sent back to Cadiz from the colonies. Cash was king, and the broke monarchy, so heavily in debt to moneylenders, ordered just coins and bullion, nothing else, to be shipped home to Spain on their treasure ships. Everything was about feeding the war machine, beating England and Holland. And somewhere on the wreck of the San Jose, at least $3.7 billion is just waiting to be discovered. Some of it was silver bars mined in Potosi in Bolivia and Lima in Peru. Then there were masses of silver coins and lesser stashes of gold ones. Still sparkling on the San Jose surface are gold ingots, silver and gold coins. Because you could see it so high up on the ship in the stern, it's pretty clear that this bling wasn't the king's taxes, but contraband once hidden away in the stern cabins of merchants, passengers, and even officers turned get-rich-quick smugglers. The glory of gold is that even underwater it always shines. Look, on some of the wrecked gold coins, you can even see the letter L standing for the Lima Mint in Peru, 8 for an 8 escudos denomination coin, and H standing for Francisco Hurtado, the man in charge of checking the gold's quality. The design shows the Pillars of Hercules and waves at Gibraltar. There, the Mediterranean Sea met the Atlantic Ocean. To the ancients, westward stretched an uncharted ocean filled with sea monsters. To colonial Spain, it was all part of their conquered lands. That's why coins on the San Jose were stamped with the letters PVA, meaning plus ultra in Latin, and in English, more beyond. After Columbus claimed to have discovered the New World, Spain's stormtrooping conquistadors decided there were no more lands beyond its global empire left unexplored. From high art to low artifacts, alongside the glittering treasures, San Jose was catering for a curious new craze. Hundreds of bronze syringes are strewn across the breakpoint where the galleon blew in half. They're a very intimate find designed for rectal enemas. Doctors thought it was beneath their dignity to give enemas, but by 1590, kit like these for DIY enemas could be bought off the shelf. Before now, nobody had a clue that these syringes came all the way from the Americas, probably crafted from copper mined in Cuba. At first, these syringes, known as clysters, were used to clean out the bowels with a water-based solution to deal with constipation and stomach aches. At the time when the San Jose sank, King Louis XIV of France and the royal court were championing enemas. High society ladies were smitten and started taking enemas 3 to 4 times a day to improve their complexions and stay youthful. The rectum-based Botox was a triumph. As time went by, syringes and enemas started being used for more dubious cures, from headaches, breathing failure, colds and hernias, to abdominal cramps, typhoid fever and cholera. Unknown from any manifest, the San Jose syringes were illegal contraband smuggled by Spanish merchants. And that wasn't all the dodgy business defying the king's orders. When the San Jose blew sky high, it smashed open crates of exotic blue and white porcelain. The porcelain was made more than 15,000 kilometers away from where the galleon sank off Colombia, in Jingdezhen in China, an industrial mega hub with so many pottery kilns that visitors dubbed it the city of all-day thunder and lightning. From the banks of the Yangtze River, 185 million pieces of porcelain were exported to Europe between 1550 and 1800. The Age of Discovery was also the Age of Porcelain that created the world's greatest brand in history. The San Jose's porcelain cups were made for elegantly sipping tea. In Ottoman hands, they were repurposed for drinking coffee though, and on Spanish tables for something equally modern, just as none of us can do without chocolate today. So 18th century Spain went into raptures for cacao. When conquistadors landed in the Indies, the Aztec elite enjoyed sipping roasted and ground cacao beans mixed with red chili pepper, spices and vanilla, all whipped up into a thick froth drank cold. Spain liked what it saw. The Aztecs' different tastes were twisted for mild European mouths by adding sugar, the very symbol of civilization, right? By the start of the 18th century, everyone was sipping hot chocolate. The drink was so popular that it was said that lacking chocolate in Spanish houses means to be so poor like not having bread. A soldier called E.F. Lantier wrote in his travel accounts that the main good for Spanish is to sleep in the afternoon, have chocolate, make love, and be present for processions and church ceremonies. Sounds good to me. By the late 18th century, 11 million pounds of cacao beans were being imported into Cadiz every year. Drinking chocolate spread fast from Spain to European aristocrats as a recipe for good health, but it left behind an unpalatable legacy. Cultivating sugar for chocolate, as well as coffee and tea, became the chief reason behind the transatlantic slave trade and the trafficking of 12 million Africans to grow canes on plantations in the Americas. Hot chocolate had to be drunk out of exotic Chinese porcelain cups as a sign of civilization and sophistication. The delicate porcelain scattered across the San Jose tells an historical tale as precious as anything that glitters on the world's richest treasure ship, how the West got hooked on chocolate. Culture, cash, colonialism and chocolate, that's the story of the San Jose. But 90% of the story is unwritten, hidden in the belly of the beast. All the way down from the surface cannon, thousands of heavyweight silver bars hugging the keel, is a truly unique snapshot of war, life and death on the high seas in 1708. The Holy Grail of the ocean has a lot of hype to live up to, and it doesn't disappoint. Thanks for joining WreckWatch TV to boldly go where no one has gone before and where underwater archaeology is lighting up an extraordinary past. For more about this mind-blowing shipwreck, don't miss WreckWatch magazine's very special issue about the Galleon, its history, treasure and meaning to Colombia, Spain and the indigenous people of Bolivia and Peru, where its silver and gold was seized. Before you head off to dream of gold and jewels, don't forget to like this video, hit the notification bell, dance a dig and sing a shanty. And until next time, deep down, we care.